Guys, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Pleasure.
So from what I understand, the seeds of this collaboration were kind of sown at Lou Reed's memorial in 2013. Is that right, Kevin?
That's correct.
What's the story there?
The story is, I worked with Lou for years as his touring band leader, and Lou was a huge fan of doo-wop. And back in the 70s, he had the Persuasions opening his shows on his tours. And so at Lou's memorial at the Apollo Theater, the Persuasions sang a version of his song Turning Time Around, and I performed a song as well. And that's where we met.
Jimmy, what do you remember about those shows with Lou Reed? I didn't know that you had opened up those gigs.
Man, it was great. Lou was the first artist that took us to Europe. We went over and toured about 20 cities in the UK. And we just had a ball. We were on the bus every day going from here playing blackjack. It was great, man. Lou was a great guy.
You guys played blackjack on the bus?
Yeah.
We play euchre on the bus. Yeah. You know that game? It's sort of like bridge.
Played blackjack, man. The whole time we were on the bus just having a good time.
That's cool.
And Dave, do I understand that something at the memorial you were somehow transfixed with Kevin's sweater? Is this right?
Well, it's turned into a transfixion since the first narrative.
Well, it's Easter, Yeah.
I did admire the sweater very much. It was a nice sweater.
Yeah, he goes, what size is that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think that'll fit me.
Well, what did the sweater look like? I'm curious.
You know, it was made by Comme des Garçons, and it had sort of flannel patches on it, and sort of a mix match.
Image of Kevin Hearn right on the
No.
I think just to get down to it, these are songs that you've either recorded before, some new songs in there as well. But Ed, this is a band that's existed for a very, very long time, and a band that I see very much as its own kind of entity. I can't think of too many collaborations. I can think of some, but I can't think of too many collaborations you've done up until now. What's it like working with these guys? What's it like hearing their voices sing these songs?
It was, the word I keep coming back to is it was so easy.
What do you mean?
We all got in the studio. These guys had done so much work. They had written these beautiful vocal arrangements to our songs, and we realized very quickly the less we do, the better this whole thing's going to be. So we stripped right down and just left a lot of room for the voices. Mm-hmm. It was a very easy, we know our songs pretty well because we play them all the time. So, and we just started having a ball right away. We really did think, because we had a day and a half, we thought we're going to get 3 to 5 songs out of this session, and we recorded 15 songs because it was just easy. Everything just came out. It was, and that is largely due to the fact that the Persuasions are incredible.
Yeah, they really are.
These guys are some of the easiest guys in the world to work with.
Well, I was going to say you guys have worked with everyone.
We've worked with everybody.
Everyone under the sun.
Everybody.
How does working with the Barenaked Ladies compare to working with with Joni, with Zappa, like any of these guys you've worked with?
I mean, everybody we worked with was everybody was cool, but these guys, it's just a pleasure working with them. When we first met them, we took to them. I don't know if you know what that means.
I do know exactly what you mean.
We took to them immediately,
Yeah.
And us to them, they came out to one of our shows that we were playing in Central Park in New York last summer, and Kev invited them out and said, what do you think if they do these 2 songs? One of those songs was 4 Seconds, which was what kind of woke my mind up to, like, we can do some really interesting things.
This was on stage at Central Park?
On stage at Central Park. So they came out for the sound check, and we just hit it off. We spent all day backstage telling stories and singing songs. With these guys, you don't get a story without a song because they start talking about something and it becomes a song.
Well, I want to point out, though, even while we were sound checking, I would hear someone like hum a small melody, and then all of a sudden you guys would all just get up and walk towards the microphones and start singing.
The other night at the hotel, we were eating dinner, and a story came up, and they started singing, and the person at the bar turned the radio down, and the whole restaurant was quiet. listening, and it was a magical kind of thing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
We didn't realize that they bust out in applause. Then realize that they were actually listening because we were singing for ourselves. We were just back and forth having a little fun.
Tell me a little bit about. I mean, there's so many songs to choose from in the Barenaked Ladies catalog and in the Persuasions catalog and in your own solo catalogs. Tell me a little bit about how you narrowed down this list.
Well, Ed mentioned the song 4 Seconds, which is one of our stranger songs, but I knew it was a good choice after hearing their record, Frankly A Cappella, which was arrangements of Frank Zappa's songs. I knew they could go outside and have fun, and so I was kind of like, well, we could really do anything. So I listened back for songs that had lots of harmonies or songs that sort of had a doo-wop feel to them, and I sent those songs to Dave.
Like how many you think?
I sent him about 30 songs.
Right.
And he sort of picked the ones he thought would work best and sent me the rehearsals that they did on a voice memo. And then we narrowed it down from there.
So Dave, when you were listening to these 30 songs, what were you listening for?
First, the melody,
Yeah.
and then understanding the lyrics, and then the message of the song, and whether it was in that order or not, but basically that's it. And with Barenaked Ladies, it's easy to do because they're very melodic, incredible lyricists, and they have a way of constructing a rhythm that makes you feel good. It lifts your spirit. So that's the things we latched on to right away. So, and there's space. There was space enough for us to add things too, without stepping on the beautiful things they created already.
I know you mentioned them being able to lift things up. I mean, a lot of these songs are really kind of iconic songs, and I mean that. The only time, and I'm from Newfoundland, which is a pretty rowdy place, the only time I've ever gotten a noise complaint in my entire life was in Los Angeles, California, with a couple of friends of mine, where we were singing Barenaked Ladies songs as loud as we possibly could all night on a balcony, and we almost got kicked out of our Airbnb. So these songs mean a lot to a lot of people. What was your impression of going through this kind of oeuvre for the first time?
Again, there was no sense of intimidation, no sense of trepidation. It was just a joyful experience. We look forward to doing it. I mean, every song that was sent to us was like, ooh, man, that's good. Wow, that's another one. So very rarely do we write. We never wrote back saying that we didn't like anything.
No?
And the only reason why it's only 15 is because that's what we just got to.
Right.
But I think we would have done treatments of more.
I think there's a second one coming.
What was exciting for me was starting to work on these songs and having the guys respond to very specific couplets in the songs.
What do you mean?
And like Dave would come to me and say, I love that line. We really keyed off this one line to get the mood for the song. Like in For You, he said, I love the line, if I hide myself wherever I go, am I ever really there? He said, man, I can't stop going over that line.
And I guess you've played these songs and had these songs for so long, you don't even think about them that way
Totally.
anymore. It's hard to
So
think of them as songs.
it was really moving and humbling the amount of care that they'd put into these arrangements. And a song like When I Fall, when Dave said to me, I love that song. I love the whole story. And that high drone we're doing, we're trying to simulate the wind. And I was like, I was so moved, It was a really beautiful approach.
Jimmy, you've been with the band the longest, and in the Persuasions records I've heard, including that Frank Zappa record, weirdly enough, I have that record.
It's great,
It's a
huh?
great record, yeah. It's largely a cappella. I can't think of a Persuasions song as the Persuasions that I've heard with a band behind it. In my experience,
We did. I think it was with A&M Records.
you did one with a band.
Yeah,
behind it? But it's not normal.
Jeff Barry was the producer.
Okay,
And he wanted to put a band behind us.
but it's not quite often you have a band behind you.
No,
Most of your records-
no.
And it
just
wasn't
did
this-
that. And we lost so many fans because we were strictly a cappella. And when our fans heard us with the bands, they kind of like, oh, man, I thought you guys were the real deal.
Right.
But so we had to go back to being the real deal.
Kevin?
Well, Jimmy mentioned to me yesterday that the band was often done before they sang. They
Right.
weren't,
Yeah,
weren't in the
we-
room together like we did this record. This was like humans in the room together.
That's
So
right.
it was still similar, but just we had instruments.
So, but it's more collaborative
Yeah,
in that way.
yeah.
So what's it like having this band behind you, Jimmy?
Great. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I really do.
And Dave, for you, just being an a cappella band traditionally, but with a band behind you, does that add or subtract? Does it change the way you approach
It
your music?
depends on the band.
Yeah.
It depends on the quality of the music. Again, Barenaked Ladies, I don't know how Canadian fans will take to me saying this, but I put them in the same category as the Beatles. Extremely incredible.
Most
lyricists.
Canadians think we're just a little bit better than the
Okay, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. But what I'm saying, but a cappella groups, not many a cappella groups are able to make the transition with a band because a cappella, we're used to stuffing every nook and cranny.
That's right.
So when you get with a band, you're singing where the bass is playing, you're doing piano lines, you're doing guitar lines, so you're crowding the arrangement to the point where there's a great lyric from a Grateful Dead song that goes, "If I can't hear the song for the singer." You know, when you
Black
put an
Muddy
arrangement,
River.
yeah, Black Muddy River. When you put, let's sing it. No,
Bring him back in.
When you put too much into it, all of a sudden you don't hear the song anymore. So again, with Barenaked Ladies, their arrangements leave room. You know, they're not cluttered to begin with. So there's room in their music and that's probably why your fans love you, because they can hum along in places and, you know, there's room for them and room for you. That's why they probably love you guys.
But not room for you if you sing it too loud. Then you get kicked out of the room.
Then you get kicked out of the
I did.
hotel and everything.
I want to end like this because that brings up a really interesting point. Just when I wasn't planning on asking this, but when I was watching you guys perform The Old Apartment just then, I have to say that I've seen the Barenaked Ladies an awful lot, and not to say that you guys work you guys work too hard, but you work when you're on stage. There's a lot of movement. During that performance, I've never seen your band just sit back and enjoy their own music in that way. Can you just tell me a little bit about that? It feels like you're really just enjoying your own songs again.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a feeling around the band these days with our live shows, with the records we've been making. I think we are generally enjoying ourselves. We're enjoying playing stuff from our back catalog. We're enjoying making new records. But to get to play a song and hear these guys sing it, like it really elevated that song. It took it to, that song started as a ballad, and then I sort of shoehorned it into a rock song, and the Persuasions turned it into a beautiful soul song, So for me, it's such a joy to just be in that moment and listen to Cliff and Dave sing that song and all the harmonies the guys put in. It's just like, wow, I can't believe we get to do this.
I just love hearing the Persuasions sing the word Danforth.
That's right?
That's my favorite part of the whole thing.
I thought about that too while it happened today. I'm like, here we are, just off the Danforth, and Dave's singing about it.
Guys, see, that's one thing we got from you guys, man. We know that you guys enjoy what you do. Yeah. And it's very similar. I was telling Dave the other day, I said, you know what, man? I really look forward to coming to rehearsal. And I know when we see you guys doing what you're doing, you're enjoying yourself, and that's what we do. We enjoy ourselves.
Well, listen, we all enjoyed it
That's
as well.
what it's all about. When it gets to a point that you don't enjoy it no more, try something new.
Yeah, my father used to say that the minute you got to go to work, you better stop working.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you,
Thank
Tom.
you, Tom. Pleasure.